You wake up from a deep and distant dream with suddenly a perfect pair of wings. Beautiful butterfly, soon you will touch the sky. Beautiful butterfly, fly away.
I grew up in New York City, Manhattan. 5-story apartment building. We lived on the 4th floor. There were 6 of us in a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment, kind of cramped. We had a loving mother. It was a loving household. Like I said, we had our sibling rivalries, our fights. I mean, there was constant, you know, my mother was constantly refereeing or breaking up fights between the brothers. But it was a typical thing, you know, growing up. And like I said, the house, I mean, everybody was welcome in that house. My mother, she didn't have much, but what she had, she spread to everybody. I mean, we could bring friends home from school. So when we were going to school, some of the kids there were from a Kennedy School for Children, and they had no parents. And my mother would have them come over to our house, and she'd make lunch for them, because that might be the only good meal they got out of the day. What little she had, you didn't lack. You didn't lack in our house growing up. Even though it was tight at times, my mother made sure we always had everything that we needed.
Johana is the example of giving without pretension and for no other reason. She represented love, kindness, a willing to give, and to give only to give, not to expect anything in return.
First I remember of my mother volunteering was with the Ida Bernstein Memorial League, which was for cancer. And the reason I believe she got involved in that was because my grandfather had passed away from cancer. So that kind of spearheaded a movement on cancer. And plus her 4 sons also smoked too, so that was, she never smoked herself, but her 4 sons picked it up.
I met Johana back in 1999. I had just gotten to fish just not too many months earlier than that. And we started a foundation. And we wanted to understand who in the community was there to help us, and Johana's name was brought up. And when I met her, it was an instantaneous liking. I appreciated very much her flair, what she brought from the community and back to the community from the hospital.
I first met Johana through the Boys and Girls Clubs of Volusia, Flagler County, where she did a lot of work for them. She held these silent auctions every year for just years. And then when I did some volunteer work with the foundation, Johana was there. It seemed like she was everywhere.
The Police Athletic League, she was a significant member of that group and a driving force behind many of the events that they put together. And the Blue Springs Manatee Festival is something that she held very dear to her heart and worked very hard on that.
Johana was a founding member of the Orange City Blue Spring Manatee Festival. She started back in 1985 and put in 28 years of service. I know that people have always talked about the Manatee Festival as it was Johana's festival and things, because she was such an active part of it. Back when we were struggling back in 1997, continuing through some growing pains, she took over and she did the t-shirts. She did the raffle, she did the silent auction. She ran around and collected the mail and got people to give more sponsorships and donations, along with a couple other people really put it together. So she might not have been an officer and been all rewarded with a lot of clout, but she certainly was the leader of this committee.
Next to her family, I think that was her most favorite thing, was to go out there and volunteer, meet people, belong to different organizations. She just enjoyed getting out and mingling.
Oh, she was always fun, always fun. Told you what your job was, and you never were allowed to touch money, but she counted the money. You could bring it in, but you couldn't count it. She had to count it, so that was fine. And she was always upbeat. And I mean, the lady had a, you know, had to be in a walker and everything, but it didn't seem to slow her down one bit. She was always jolly, always fun. We had a lot of fun at the Pink Feet. That was probably the last time I worked with her. We were sitting there, and the young man that does the puppets came around behind us and took our picture. And it was the best picture I ever saw of either one of us, because we were just surprised, and so we weren't smiling for the camera or anything. It was always just fun. It was always like, oh, if I can work with Johana, that'll be a fun day.
Johana was the only person other than my mother who could give the look. You know, the look, that disapproving look. She didn't have to say what it was. She would just do this.
No one touched our community as closely as Johana touched our community, and a lot of people in it. She gave so much of her time.
She always had the board members thinking about why we were putting this festival on. It wasn't to make a great production. It was all about providing resources to the community. It is a fundraiser for the community, and Johana kept us remembering that, because she always wanted to help those people, and she knew this fundraising event was a way to help them. So the more and more funds we could raise, the more people she could help. So it was that constant push from behind the scenes of always wanting to help the community.
One of the things Johana was known for was collecting Christmas presents for children in need, and she did this all year long. I would run into her in the store in the middle of the summer, and she would be in there shopping for a child that she did not even know.
She went out and collected toys and wrapped the presents and brought these gifts, the Christmas gifts, to kids all over the county.
Christmas is always a favorite time of the year, even growing up in New York. I mean, she went above and beyond what most people. I mean, we always had a good Christmas. I mean, she just enjoyed giving. She enjoyed bringing happiness to people as she could, and that was one of her ways of doing that. And she liked to see the expression on the kids' faces when they opened up the gifts in the morning. I mean,
in her living room every year, she does the Christmas gifts for the underprivileged kids locally, and that you cannot walk. They're just everywhere in her home. When I went to her house, I had taken some gifts over there, and I tripped over some of the gifts as I was walking in. As she was saying, "Be careful, be careful." And that was the last memory that I have of her, which is a really, really great one.
She really cared about people, and I think we all could learn something from that.
I don't think I'll ever have another view of butterflies again in my life. Every time I see a butterfly, I instantly think of Johana, which is great for me. I love that. She had butterflies throughout her entire house. The entire front yard is made up of butterflies. The inside of the house is made up of butterflies. She wore butterflies, as most people know, and I would always joke with her that she had a bug on her shirt. Of course, she would give me that look, and we both smiled. It was a great moment. Or when I was in her house, I would say, "I'm going to hire an exterminator to come in here and take care of all these bugs." And of course she laughed, and that's what our relationship was, which I liked a lot, and I think what her relationship was with most people.
I felt like she understood the power of volunteerism and bringing a real beauty and art to what she did in the community. And you know, the symbol of a butterfly, I think, was very apt for what she did. She would flutter between all the different organizations she participated in. And I think it was kind of cross-pollinating in a way. She would bring a little of the benefits and the value of one organization to another, to another, to another. And just the beauty and the style of the butterfly, I think, very appropriately matches what Johana did.
The first Johana Knox Award event, I was looking for a song that somehow addressed her love of butterflies. I spent hours on the internet and I couldn't find anything. And so I decided to try to write a song. So I started looking up what the monarch butterfly was all about. And I come to find that they travel up to 2,500 or 3,000 miles and it seemed impossible to me, one flutter at a time to go 2,500 miles. And then I realized that was the key, because she got so much work accomplished, one person at a time, one organization at a time.
You wake up from a deep and distant dream, with suddenly a perfect pair of wings. Beautiful butterfly, soon you will touch the sky. Beautiful butterfly, fly away. I know you have so many things to do, and in your heart this journey calls to you. Everywhere you go, and everyone you see, you make this world a better place to be. Fly away. If only I had wings just for today. We'd fly together free and let our hearts just lead the way. Beautiful butterfly, fly away. So catch the wind and feel the morning sun. Lift your wings, 'cause now the time has come. Living the life you lead, giving love to those in need. Beautiful butterfly, lift your wings. Fly away. If only I had wings just for today. We fly together free and let our hearts just lead the way. Beautiful butterfly, fly away. Should you ever be this way again, you know that I will always be your friend. Rest upon my shoulder, I will offer you my hand, and feel your gentle spirit once again.
I have been collecting butterflies since I'm 16 years old, which these scatter pins are from that time, and I still have them. The significance is generally a new beginning, which I've tried to do many times over. And they're beautiful creatures. I have probably 75 pins, at least that many shirts. I've always loved butterflies, and they're, like I said, everything you see, it says new beginnings.